Start analyzing. I'm probably just gonna focus on QQQ and just check futures first. All right. So the first thing I do notice is this sweep we do have in a daily. We closed way above it, so this is good. And there was also this fair value gap we had back on September 11th too. So we swept these lows, and we hit basically 50% of this fair value gap on a daily. I think this is actually the same on the Qs as well. Yeah, actually the Qs we hit all the way to the bottom of it. Pretty cool. Day. Then after that we can zoom in. We do have this market structure shift on a 30-minute. This candle right here closed above these highs pre-market. Ideally, when this happens, I think the best entry would for it to be retest at least 50% from the candle that pushed us up. But we never got that. It just held pretty well here. So seeing that this happened, I think this was probably the bottom or the low for the next few days. Because if we're just going to consolidate and keep pushing up, I don't think we should come back here at this point. I think we're just going to keep trending up now. So putting that in mind, let's see what we can see next. Next thing I do see is this fair value gap on this is the hourly right here. Not saying we'll hit this today, but I think at some point this week, uh, maybe, today, tomorrow, or Thursday, we'll come up to this fair value gap. And once we see the price action here, we may hold above it or just wick and then reverse. But it's kind of difficult to predict now at this current price. Once we get here, we can decide afterwards. But I think just from this analysis I just gave, I think I will be sticking to calls. I'll see what happens after the 30-minute close at 10:30. If we continue this trend, I'll keep my bias bullish. Let's check ES. And by the way, ES correlates to SPY, and NQ correlates to the Qs, if you didn't know. And if you notice, SPY is kind of a little bit different. Or I guess ES, we never actually swept this low, but this daily, yesterday's candlestick, we actually did retrace this open, which is actually still really good too. If you ever retrace the candle that caused the market structure shift, this is a solid entry, especially after confirmation. And kind of like a little bit of same bias, I guess. On the hourly, this candle closed above these highs, and we never really got a retrace back to this market structure shift. So I think I'm gonna keep my bias the same on SPY as well. I don't think we'll go back to this point. As long as we keep trending up and keep making closures above previous like either hourly or 30-minute candles, I think we'll keep trending up at this point. Let's take a look at news in 9 minutes. Do we actually? Oh, good point. Good catch. We do have PMI at 10. Thanks for mentioning that. All right, in that case, I mean, usually I don't trade on the 1K account anyways until around 10:30. But after 10, I may do a few scalps on my personal account. Then we'll look for trade around 10:30 on the 1K account. If you guys are scalping by the way right now, ideally I would not trade honestly anything 15 minutes before news. Like I would not be trading this right now. It's very, very unpredictable. So good catch on that. I guess until then, since I don't really care for price action right now. If you guys have any questions, we have about 10 minutes. I was watching a video that said fair value apps aren't meaningful if they're before a market structure shift. I mean, I think I usually say that. So the ones that are most meaningful or impactful would be the ones that cause a market structure shift, and this is based on the model I trade with. For example, yesterday, this is on the Qs. You look at a daily time frame. Actually, I kind of like this as much. Let's go on SPY. I think SPY is better. So on a daily time frame on SPY, look at this candle. We swept these lows from March 13th. Okay. Then if you zoom in on the 4 hour, we have a market structure shift. So this is good. Zoom in further. I don't see any fair value gap, but let's check the 30-minute. I don't see one either here. The only fair value gap I actually see is on the 5-minute. It's not clear in other time frames, but this is still good. To me, this is the most meaningful fair value gap because it happened after a liquidity sweep and a market structure drift in the 5-minute. I mean, ideally you want to see on a higher time frame, but the 5-minute is still fine. So this 5-minute candle closed above these. This was the change of character or market structure shift. Ideally, if we get any retest here or up to the 50% of this fair value gap, this would be a solid entry, but we actually never got that. But this fair value gap, if I was trading this yesterday, and we got a retest here, this is where I'd be longing. But then you got like other ones, marking them out, like we have one here. And you got some other ones that form along the way, even these. I'm not saying like these are areas to look at, but it just becomes too noisy, especially on a lower time frame. This would be the most impactful one, if that makes sense, because of what happened. Because throughout the day, you can have 5+ fair value apps, or trade based on all of them. Doesn't really make sense. And actually, I think I saw someone yesterday in chat mention, maybe it was on the Qs, not SPY. I think I saw someone mark this. Actually, even on the 1 minute, I think I saw him mark it. What's that? I'm not sure, but there was a fair value gap here marked. And like it was only impactful for literally like 2 minutes. But I forgot if it was Q or SPY. Yeah, so I mean, ideally, like when you trade something, you need context behind it. You can't just trade based off one thing. Even like if you're based off of like supply or demand or the VWAP or whatever, you need some context behind it because nothing works 100%. But if you have two or three things behind the basis of your trade, you have a better thesis to go along with it. what's the theory called when you see a pattern in one time frame and then another? Yeah, it's just fractal. Um, the market is fractal, so the model or just basically any strategy you use, you can see on a daily, monthly, 1 minute, 5 minute, whatever. But ideally, the longer time frame, the better it is, just because it had longer time to play out. It just works better. But even even the sweeps and the market structure shift and whatever can technically work in the 1 minute, but the 1 minute just it's just noise usually. I'd focus on the 5, 15 minute, 30 minute for trades. Now this is still looking good. But like I said, we have news in 2 minutes, so I don't really care the price action we have right now. Also, be mindful. I see a lot of people that they get scared of like bearish candles like this. When we get stuff like this, it's just for us to rebalance something. I mean, I don't know. Like I kind of see this pretty easily, but we had this pretty green candle here, and not many wicks to come and fill the open. So there's a lot of resting open orders here. This fill them all, or at least most of them. If you see where we stopped, does that make sense? So we saw this candle here. A lot of people probably tried putting limit orders or whatever. Their buy orders are resting. Right now, we just fill them. And you can't really see as much as in the 5 minute, I guess, because we also had this wick. We have 20 seconds. I would not be in any trade right now unless you're using small positions. How do I know where liquidity is and what's just manipulation? I mean, liquidity is pretty easy to spot, but manipulation is a little bit more difficult. But you also don't know for sure unless you get confirmation. So I've said this a few times when I'm scalp. Like sometimes we may get a sweep. If you're scalping, you can technically still take the trade without the confirmation, but however, your now risk to reward is a little bit off because you don't know exactly what's gonna happen next. But if you wait for confirmation first, your risk to reward becomes better, but obviously your entry does not. Um, so if you notice, like my past trades on the 1K account, I usually wait for confirmation, even if the option price becomes 10% more expensive. I know the trade is actually more likely to happen. If there's a trade that happens around 10:30, I'll try to mention that. And this is a good reason not to trade news because if my thesis was biased based on technicals, but then the news just screws it up, it can basically change the direction, either long term or short term. So we'll see what happens. I usually like to wait at least for a 15 or 30 minute confirmation. I don't look at wicks that form. To get confirmation, we would wait on a retracement. And if we are waiting on a retracement, do you wait until you see it one more time? Or is there like another average number you have? Confirmation. I tried yesterday. All right, so this is not the best example, but I'll show you this. So this is on the 5 minute, right? Wait, actually, all right. This is an okay example. The reason I don't like it is because of the 50 minute. But let's just say we're trading based on the 5 minute. You have this sweep that formed at 9:45. This was on Q's yesterday market, or sorry, aftermarket open. And this 5 minute closed above these. So this was your market structure shift candle, right? What you can do as soon as this candle closes above these, this is the fair value gap that forms. You literally just mark out this fair value gap, and ideally, when it comes back, you can enter at the test or at 50%. So the best way to trade this would probably just to be scale in case we do tap only at the end. So let's say you want to get 5 contracts, or that's like the max size you're comfortable with. I would start with 1 contract as soon as we tap it, and maybe add 2 more at the equilibrium point, and then the last 2 would be at the end. That would be your confirmation. But the reason I said it's not the best setup is because this is only on the 5 minute. If you look in the 50 minute, we still didn't get that market structure shift. But the trade still would have worked out. Even just short term, you can either target the opening of the candle that made this push down, or target the like next previous sweep high. So it'll be this 5 minute, this 5 minute, or this 5 minute. But we'd have to hold these a little bit longer. But for day trade, I mean, if you got this, you could literally got out less than like 10 minutes later. And this was almost $1.70 push. That's probably been like 40% move, I think, in like 10 minutes. So on a shorter time frame, this would have been your confirmation, but I would have gone that in a longer time frame. Yeah, I mean, so the best setups is I usually want to see a sweep on a daily or 4 hour. But it's okay, I guess, to take these. I would just not size up as much, unless it's on the 1K account, because it's not a lot of capital. There seems like there's a lot of people not able to chat. Should we remove the XP thing temporarily? Like, you don't know how? No? Okay. And there's like 7 tickets open right now. Can't chat, but whatever. Okay, we'll keep it. So, I was talking about this earlier. So, on a scalp, we just swept this 935, right? If you were to take this without confirmation, you could have before confirmation, and then I would get out like relatively quickly because you don't know exactly how far up we're gonna go yet. Let's see. I have the 468. Let's do the 467. And I guess I'll test it out live with you guys. Don't take this trade with me, but I'll just show you. I'll do like 5 contracts, right? Let's say I were to take this right here. My computer is like. So I just got filled. Only 5 contracts. Since there's no confirmation, I would relatively get out pretty quickly. So maybe like around like 467 to 467.2 if we get that push. But this is also very risky. Like I mentioned, this can keep going down since we don't have confirmation. If you're scalping, you have to go into the mindset knowing you're only aiming for quick profits, or you're gonna get out at a small loss pretty quickly. So I got in 187. I'll just put sell for like 2.2 maybe and see what happens. Don't take this, by the way. This is just an example I'm showing you guys. Bro, Cosmo, as funny as it is sometimes, bro, some people actually take these trades with high capital. Like, I like, I don't know. Like, I'm iffy with those posts because I think they're funny. I think they're fun. There's a lot of people that actually take this seriously. And I only did 5 contracts. Just to show an example. Some might have done like 50 or more, so I don't know, man. Yeah, and like even if I take the loss, it's probably only be like $50. I don't care. Yeah, welcome, Martian. Actually, I'll let this run for you guys. I don't mind taking like a $300 loss so I can show you guys this scalp. Because here's a sweep. We're sweeping this right now. I never got that pullback I want on a scalp. But now I'm technically stuck on this trade. And now we swept this, but we don't know this is a sweep yet until we get confirmation. That's why scalps, like, I know a lot of people have been asking me to I guess show how I scalp and kind of to teach it, but the issue is people are not willing to get out a loss. There's so many people in here that just can't accept losses. And when you're scalping, like, if I'm taking 20 trades a day, I'm not gonna let one small loss get in my way. Like, even if I take this right now, I get out, sorry, I'll be down $130. But if I'm gonna take another 10, 15 trades, like, this doesn't mean anything. Taking 20 trades a day sounds like a nightmare. I mean, with futures, that's how much I average. There's so many opportunities to scalp. The thing is, with options, a little bit different. With futures, I think I would have gone in and out like in a matter of like seconds. Because where did I enter this? I entered this at 10:08. You're returning NQ, for example, because NQ is QQ, by the way. So if I would have gotten here, 19,336, this went up 15 points higher. This would have been like a I think this would have been like a $200 trade. So I would have got in and out already in like 2 minutes. But with options, it's a little bit different. This is why usually you wait for confirmation for a trade like this, because the sweep could keep sweeping. And especially if like this 50-minute candle closes below this is not ideal. What time frame are you looking for pullbacks? You can look at any time frame, 5 minute all the way to the hourly. Let me actually just erase these. I've said this, I think I said this last week, but every candlestick we ever create, at some point in the future, we're gonna retest the opening or closure of it. Does that make sense? For example, this 50-minute candle is closing pretty bearish, right? I'm not saying this will happen the next 15, 30 minutes, but at some point, the market will come back to this open because we just created a lot of resting orders. And then, like I said, the market's fractal, so this will happen. I mean, this 50-minute is basically the same as this 30-minute open and this hourly open. So I have. Could you explain what you look for in confirmation? Someone asked earlier. I kind of went over it already. I don't want to bore people much, so if you don't mind, just watch the recap. I explained it on Q's here earlier. Do you think you're oversold here? I don't really look at indicators, honestly. I don't pay attention to RSI or any of that. So 50-minute candle, extremely bearish. Usually if I was in a trade, I would say once we see this candle close below, I would be looking out to get out. But I wouldn't mark it out instantly. So this was a trade actually, was it, I think Thursday or Friday. So I was down, well, it doesn't matter, I guess. But candle is bearish. I would want to exit at a loss at this point. But instead of getting out instantly as soon as this 50-minute candle closes, you can at this point wait for either 25 or 50% retracement of this candle to mitigate any losses. So I guess we can show this here. Right now this is at 140. I got in at 180, 190, I guess we can say. So I can get out right now, 250. But let's say I want to mitigate some of my damage of the loss, right? I would look, I mean, I guess we kind of just got the 25%. This could have been a good partial exit, and then I would wait for 50%. So just eyeballing this, 50% is probably like right here. Once we hit like 466.5, I would get out of these at a much smaller loss. So 466.5 would be about right here. This might be even break even. Let's see what happens. So basically you want to see a market structure shift after a sweep. Yeah, that's correct. If you're day trading, you can focus honestly the 1 minute all the way to like the 15-minute. 30-minute plus is more ideal for longer term trades. You can still use them, but if you're just day trading and you want a quick move, you can focus on shorter time frames. Yeah, ideally, I would try not to use 1 minute. Sometimes it works. In the past, like QQQ, Nvidia, fast moving stocks, it can work pretty well. I would focus on the 5 minute plus. If we don't get this 50% retracement that I wanted, um, on this 50-minute candle, I will just get out the loss here. And usually when I'm scalping too, since they're very short-term trades, for example, let's say I'm trading Q and we have a choppy day, I'll have the 4, 6, 7 calls open here. Then here I'll just put the puts. So same strike, but one is calls, one is puts. Because you ideally should not. It's fine having a bias, but you shouldn't be glued to that bias. So if you're following both directions, and plus you shouldn't really care like which direction you head. You can make money both ways. The size of the fair value up relevant? And like how big it is, like feels like this compared to this. Usually if it's very small, oops, I wouldn't say it's too relevant because I don't know, it's just not impactful. There's not too much resting orders for us to make sense to go back to the area. Like that's why I don't like using the fair value up indicators um, on TradingView because it marks out every single fair value gap, even if there's like a very small one that's created. All right, in this case, we're going too low. We never went to that 50%, so I'll just get out here. Let's see. Is it possible to do TI on the phone? Yeah, man, good luck, bro. Don't ever trade on the phone. Not saying you can, but it's an extremely bad habit to build. Because if you start trading the phone, you're gonna start trading in bed. Or while at work, or when you're busy. Don't be trading if you can't be focused. All right, it is almost 10:30. Yeah, so the it's still reversed today. We're in this 15-minute fair value gap, and we did pass up to 50%. If this 5-minute candle closes above, this does look pretty good. I think the only issue is, like I said, this is on the 5-minute. Ideally, I'd want it on the 15-minute. Because if I were to take this trade now, I really wouldn't hold it for too long. But it can still be a pretty good trade if we retrace back to this 15-minute open. Yeah, for people that just joined, I was just showing an example on scalping without confirmation. So I took a trade here just based on the sweep, but I took it without any validation. So a trade like this is extremely risky because we don't know if we're going to reverse, we're going to keep going down. So if you're scalping, you have to go into the mindset knowing that you're going to accept a loss here if we keep going down. Or if we do reverse, you have to accept whatever gains you can get. Let's take a look. So now that we got this 5-minute candle closed, I mean, this does obviously look better here. And we did end up actually hitting that 50%, that candle. So I actually could have gone out break even right here if I held this. But I mean, if you notice, so the issue with scalping is, um, since I then wait for confirmation, this ended up being a loss. If I literally would have waited like this 5-minute, not only would have my entry been actually less, I could have gotten around 170, but my bias would have been a little bit better. So scalping is definitely something that's very difficult to teach because one, I don't think people are going to take 10, 20 trades a day and they're not going to be accepting any losses. I do usually like scalp and I'm not streaming, but I'm not going to call them any out because if I call out a trade, people are just going to follow and not knowing like that I'm willing to get out a loss or they don't know where I'm going to exit since the trades usually don't last too long. Sucks that you got out. I mean, no, I don't really care, man. On average, when I scalp, I make at least 2 to 3 grand. Like this is only a $375 loss. Like if I do another 10 trades a day, this would easily be mitigated. I've just been conditioned to accept losses, but I know a lot of beginners they can't accept that. How long do your scalps trades go on average? In less than 10 minutes. I think right now my thought process is may consolidate for a bit, just based on the time frames I'm looking at. So short term, 5 minute, we seem like to be a little bit bullish. But this 15 minute, we're still about 50% this previous bearish candle we had. And this 30 minute closes in 2 minutes. So we have a nice wick forming right now, but the body itself is still closing below pre-market candles. So let me give this 2 more minutes, and then we'll see. So when I'm scalping it and I base it on like retracements, I don't know exactly where it's gonna hit. But whenever you get a candle like this, stick like this, you can expect a 25, 50%, 75%, even 100% retracement. You just don't know when that's gonna hit. So ideally, you want to get out at a realistic, um, like retracements. Like 25 and 50 is pretty realistic. But now after this candle closes, we can keep going back down. So when scalping, knowing this, I would have just aimed to get out a break even this point. I would not be aiming for profits anymore. Or get out a small loss like I did previously. This 50 minute candle is closed, so it's still not bullish, obviously. We got this 50% retracement. Now we can probably retrace this 50 minute candle. So I mean, when I'm scalping, that's kind of how I look at it. But if I'm calling something out on the 1K account, I want to focus on something that has confirmation and it's more likely to hit. How can I train myself to stop being so greedy? I mean, dude, I hope after getting burned so many times that that mentality goes away. And I was like that for years. And I've said this previously in many streams. I only became profitable after I started focusing on small gains. That was literally the only thing I changed. I've been probably trading the same way, uh, honestly, since like 2019. I want to say, but it's the fact that I was full porting every single time and focusing on like 50, 100% runs every single time. And if I was up 30, 40%, I would not be happy with it. Eventually go back to my break even, and then my brain would not be happy with that, obviously. So it wouldn't get out break even, and then eventually I'll go into a loss until my account was blown. There's just so many opportunities in the market. It just doesn't make sense to not get out at those profits, especially if you're in a margin account. Like how do you see 30% not take it? You take that gain, go into the next trade. Because the crazy thing is, if I'm focused on 100% trade, if I was just scalping, like I can just take 5, 20% trades and still make the 100%. And getting in and out of trades pretty quickly is just so much more easier for the mind because we're not pressured looking at the P&L move. 'think the 1K account too was pretty good for me mentally because even though I have an account, 100K plus, knowing that I can turn a 1K account to 25K in like 2, 3 months, that's kind of taught me just to take my small gains and compound it. You don't like I've seen people keep re-adding, but they still have 1K plus, and there's no need because even 10% on a trade, you're still making someone's potential like daily salary, if not more. 1K was established, 3K should be on hold. Actually, yeah, I mean, the 3K one is fine. It's just the market sentiment has obviously changed with Trump and tariffs around. So I spoke with Henry a few times about this. Um, I think for future trades, I'm gonna wait for him to actually publish his analysis and like fundamentals and thesis on whatever stock we're watching, and then based on that, we'll trade on technicals. He is officially onboarding Thursday. We'll have a webinar with him 4 p.m. Thursday. What do you think about cutting loss percentage versus profit taking percentage? The percentages? I mean, if you're scalping, it should be like 1-to-1 usually. Oh, Henry's only gonna help on the swing challenge. Well, I don't know. It's up to him. Well, it may still be on me, but I'm gonna wait on his analysis first. Yeah, unknown. That's how I trade futures. On my futures account, there's for me personally, I only leave 10K. Anything over 10K at the end of the week, I just withdraw. There's no point of having capital in there. So you can take the same concept and apply it to your stocks or options. Also, pistachio, like this is why it's so good to have multiple accounts. Uh, the way I trade my 1K swing K is a lot different than my short term and long term. And I've said this many times. 1K, I know full porting is stupid, but I don't care to full port on this account because at the end of the day, no matter what the balance is, I only start at 1,000. But even if this account goes to 25K and I full port, even if I lose it all, my mind I've conditioned my mind to tell me I only lost 1K. I wouldn't take these trades on my long term or short term because then I'll be risking actual capital that I'm not willing to lose. So if you diversify your portfolios, like this is why it's so good to like, at least for me, like I trade futures on prop firms now. I don't trade it on my personal accounts. And any profits I make from futures, I just throw into my long term. So even if I have a losing day, like on my short term or swing challenge, I can still be up in day based on my other accounts. Like, does that make sense? Like, I don't know. Like, I can lose 3-5K my short term, but then be up like 4 or 5K in futures, whatever. So I can like either get out today small loss, break even, or small profit. But it's because I've set so many accounts. I don't even if I blow one, like I'm still okay. At the end of the challenge, you should full port because fucking ball. Crazy enough, Henry, out of all people, has actually convinced me to do that. So I think once we hit 25K, I may just keep going, but it's too early for that to talk about. The only issue is there's a lot of beginners joining, and what they're seeing is teaching them like a very bad habit. So I'm fine with reporting on those accounts, but at the same time I'm like hesitant because I know whoever just start out trading is gonna be developing very bad habits, and especially for the younger kids, like probably between 18 to like 24. Once they develop those habits, it's gonna be difficult for them to get rid of. Is it a bad habit though? Of course it is. When is full porting ever a good habit? So I'm gonna see how this 15-minute candle closes first. So I'll give this 7 more minutes. But this would be a nice confirmation for me because at this point we would have sweep of pre-market lows. We would have a retest of this fair value gap, and we would have a market structure shift. But once again, this is not confirmation until this candle closes in 6 minutes. People aren't afraid to blow up accounts next day. What do you mean? Yeah, also, it's another issue with the swing account. I don't know how long you guys have been in here for, but maybe a good portion of the trades the first week or two have been good. A majority of people have literally gotten out within the first 15 minutes, which is fine. You know, people see profits, take it, whatever. But it just literally defeats the whole purpose of kind of the challenge, I guess. Or for the people that want to swing these. Um, I don't know, that challenge just got, it just got very iffy from the start. So, yeah, I'm waiting for Henry on Thursday, and then we'll talk to him and see. And I already know people are going to complain about Henry's calls because he obviously looks a lot further out. And people are already concerned about prices that I was using for 2 weeks out. So I can't wait to see what they're going to say about his trades since they're more long dated. I was trading futures on Top Step when I take long position for quick scalp. As soon as it touches fair value, I've drawn. Yeah, I would. Like on futures, all I do is scalp. I don't hold anything long term. But the good thing with futures is you know if you're wrong or correct very quickly. So it's kind of comforting knowing I'm not gonna be holding a position longer than 10 minutes. So I'm either right or wrong. And realistically, any position I hold longer than 10 minutes, it's almost guaranteed a loss. Already out. All right. There's a minute and a half left, but I mean this is almost certainly gonna close above. So I would definitely not be looking for puts anymore. Or I guess I was at anyways, but if you trade puts, very short term. So now let's take a look what we see here. It is double topped on a day as well. I definitely like this for long still, and yesterday's high is not too far out. Yesterday's high is at for the Qs. It's at 469.86. $100 higher. Could easily target that. The issue is I don't like getting in this high, so I want to see what kind of retracement we get in the 15-minute, and I'll enter for longs. I don't know. Maybe we might retest this open right here, which on the 5-minute we actually do have a fair value gap right here. So if we retest this, I'm gonna go long. I'll grab the 468 calls. And that will be a sweep of this wick right here. I mean, we may not get it, but I don't like chasing, so if this keeps going higher, then it would just be a mistrade. And SPY has a very similar setup as well. Target fill? Dude, I didn't even get in yet, man. I said I'm waiting. Can you run through this trade that you might take? Yeah, so since it's 50-minute candle closed, and it's a market structure shift, I'm leaning bullish because of the sweep we got. But now I'm just gonna wait for us to retest this fair value gap on the 1-minute. But we may not get it. But if we do get it, as soon as we hit this fair value gap, which is looks like it's about 467.74. I'm just gonna grab 468 calls. That's if we get back here. And this would be for the 1K account, yeah. Is he taking it right now? So I'll put it in chat. Let's see. 3. Wait, why did I say 468 calls? I actually meant. Oh, that's. It was reversed. I meant 470. Actually, Cosmo earlier too. Remember I said QQQ and NVIDIA use the 1 minute can work? This is a scenario where 1 minute can work. Okay, this microstructure shift in 1 minute, the fair value gap form right here, and we retested it. It looks like Q's the 1 minute is pretty good. Yeah, it looks like we're not gonna probably missed out on this. I don't know if anyone took this, but I would just be targeting yesterday's high. Yeah, I mean, SPY and QQQ have similar trade. No, this fair value gap I have marked is based on the 5 minute. I'm in the 5 minute time frame here. I think we just hit the high, right? Or no? Yeah, it's yesterday's high right now on Qs. We have this fair value up to in the 1 hour, and then we got these wicks. Like I said, the only issue in long time frame is you don't know how long it's going to take to get to areas like this. We can push this in 1 hour, maybe 3-4 hours, or the next day. That's why it's good to scale out as you see profits. But yesterday's high is definitely a first good exit. Then obviously like leave runners for any other liquidity sweeps. I don't know. We may get this retest. We'll see. It's gonna be a patient wait. I'm not taking calls here. Even if I'm leaning towards bullish, I don't like chasing. You got a 1.27 fill margin. That's good. The fair value gap is going to form on 15-minute. Remember, I don't know if you were in the stream earlier, but I mentioned that the most important fair value gap is the one that forms after a market structure shift. So not the best example because it's on 1 minute. Actually, no, I'm not gonna even show that. But let's just say this. So this 5 minute was a market structure shift. Let's just say a fair value gap was formed, but there wasn't. That would be the most important fair value gap for me because it happened after a sweep that swept the daily, the pre-market lows. Then we got the market structure shift, and then a fair value gap would have formed. But in this case, we didn't get one in the 5 minute. But that would have been the most important one. We have one forming here. We're gonna have one. We just or we're going to have one forming here. These are not. I wouldn't say they're not as important, but they're not as valid as the first one that formed after this. Because, I mean, the first one we can fly right through and go back to it. Second one is the one I'm aiming to retest. And I think the first one that formed is, I don't think we're getting that low anymore. Yeah, liquidity sweep, market structure shift, fair value gap retest. Yeah, for like people on margin, like if you're scalping, this is fine to take. If you have a good thesis, and I think we did after this 50-minute kind of closed, you could still get in instantly, but obviously your entry is just not the best. If you're just scalping and you're getting quick, I don't know what's that percentage. I mean, I think Martian, like she got like 35 cents. So I don't know, it's like a 30% trade. Like you still could have grabbed 30%, which is actually really good, honestly, but the risk to reward isn't as good um, compared to getting like a retest. But once again, I missed it where versus she got the trade and made her gains. And plus, if you're a margin, you're not worried about only taking one trade. You can get in, close at the first target, which would have been the day highs. You can fully get out and just re-get in, like retest or whatever. But people on cash account, we have to wait for like the optimal setup since we only may take one or two trades. Yeah, ideally, it's really good to scale in and scale out. But sometimes the market moves too fast, especially the past 3 weeks. And if we're only aiming 8% a day, it would have been 30%. I don't know. Usually I say leave runners, but 30% in like 5 minutes, I would just grab that and left. SPY, however, is lagging. We didn't sweep yet. Actually, another like $1.20 higher. So I wonder, we hit an ES already. We did it. Okay. Stick with Qs. All the whale orders today are very unclear. Yeah, I remember checking unusual whales like 2, 3 years ago. I don't know. I never. If to me it was just always noise. I never got a clear picture from it. This 15-minute kind of closed. My PC is like 5 seconds behind. So 15-minute candle closed actually above these. So this is a good trend. This is also market structure shift on the 15-minute now. I think I have my charger with me. But I would not I would not fucking mark about here. I would definitely wait for retest somewhere. Mm, This is getting. Just clear these. It's getting a little bit too noisy. So I don't know if you guys remember previously when I got out of this at a loss, how I mentioned we should usually retest 25, 50%, or 75% of a previous candle. You can basically do the same as entries as well. So if I was scalping futures and I saw this, you could scale into a position based on 25%, 50%, or 75% retracement. Because I don't think we're going to fully retrace this 50-minute. But at some point, we will come back to this opening, but I doubt it's going to be the next 15, 30 minutes. So if you're urging to get in a trade, I would mark 25, 50% of this 50-minute candle. No, so those retracements I'm talking about is not based on mark sharp shift. It's just literally based on the previous candle. That's it. It doesn't. That's just an area of entry if you wanted to scalp. That's not based on model or anything. So, for example, this candle closed, right? You're extremely bullish. You think it's going to keep going higher. Well, instead of getting in instantly, you could wait for 25% of this candle, a little bit lower, or 50%, which both would have been hit. But trades like this, it's mainly for scalps, since there's no really a model behind it. Does that make sense? But I don't call these out for the 1K account because it's the reward isn't as big as getting like a re-entry or a confirmation retest. So if you want to scalp this, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we're currently above yesterday's high. At least on Qs. I don't know if SPY hit yet. SPY is gonna hit soon. Q currently has broken yesterday's high, is above it. Yeah, I'm still aiming for at least one trade on the 1K account. Ideally, I wanted this retest, but we didn't get it. I'm just gonna wait. Up 1.3K on your futures count. If you're asking, you should stop. So, like, honestly, do what I do. Separate your futures accounts, separate your options account, separate your short and long-term accounts. If you do this, you're not going to give away all your gains on the 1.3 account. Our brain is very tricky. Like, you're maybe greedy and keep going, you're going to give up all your gains. I would just stop and just go to another account. Especially if you're trading prop firms, just open like 2 or 3 accounts. You're up 1.3K, and I'm assuming it's more than your daily salary. Just stop there. Why would you use profits for options? Much capital for options? Anyways, they don't exist. That I'm aware of. I was just looking QQQ to retrace to this 5 minute fair value gap, but we never got that for an entry, and I don't think we're gonna get that anytime soon because we're $3 higher now at this point. Yeah, Purple Dragon, that's fine. For a 1K account, since I only take 1 or 2 trades, max 3, I want like the best trade we could possibly get for that day. But I mean, you can still take trades for confirmation, like I mentioned. It's just the risk reward isn't as good. That's basically it. Views are looking really good. If I was holding this long term for a swing trade, you have like liquidity here, here, and then it's fair value gap. Like I said, I just don't know how soon this is gonna hit. Maybe this one might hit soon because it's only like 50 cents away. I think SPY missed yesterday's high by a few cents, looks like. Uh, Martian, that's why I don't really pay attention to news. Could be good or bad, but I mean, it's like short term, just negative, but then it's reversed anyways. That's why ideally in futures, like 15 minutes before and after news, I just don't trade because it really doesn't make sense. And I don't have the fundamental knowledge to, I guess, understand, and I don't care, honestly. To me, it's always unpredictable, so I just don't trade it. I mean, I guess using pre-market highs, or not the highs, open candles. the high of these opening candles, this may be a good area to enter. So we'll see if what happens around 470, then I may take a long here. I can't get myself to chase. I always want the retracement. I don't know if you guys heard me say this before, but to have good trades, the most important thing is your entries, and entering here is just not good at all. Unless you're getting out extremely quickly, but even then, unpredictable. Thoughts on puts here? Don't ever short before confirmation. Why? I would not short this. Because there's still a move, there's still potential move higher to run. You short here, you're just flipping a coin. Like if I would have shorted this on like a futures count, I literally just be targeting like very quick retracements. Even this 470 line I have marked out, this would be like the max exit I have. This can keep trending all the way until these liquidity sweeps or even into this fair value gap. I would not be shorting this here. I know it sucks because like we obviously missed a good chunk of this move, but don't shorting here is a lot worse than just not taking a trade today. Nice. It looks like SPY now finally took out yesterday's high. Who the hell is buying this? What do you mean? A lot of people wait for confirmation to buy. Buying here is, I'm not saying here particularly, but people usually wait for like confirmation or move up instead of buying on the way down because you don't know how far down it can go. I was actually talking to this to my friends yesterday. Like even if we generally get a bear market, I probably am not going to slowly buy. I'm going to wait for the market to show some good signs of reversal just to get into my long positions, my long-term portfolio. As we, as retail traders, cannot predict where the lower high is going to be. So if we wait for confirmation and like some type of like meaningful reversal, I would rather just, get in 5-10% later. But I know I'm not going to deal with drawdown. Like think about how you're going to handle this. Like let's say a few days ago you thought this was the bottom and you slowly started buying in. Every single day you're in drawdown, you're going to feel like depressed or just pressure. And at some point, you're probably going to get out break even or maybe even small loss, and then you're going to miss this move. However, if you just waited and you buy anywhere here or the next few days, you may not experience any drawdown. In the long term, it's better for your mindset and your portfolio just to wait. Why? Don't really ask for targets because if anyone got this at any point, everyone's like at least up 20%. If you're asking where to sell, you're not happy 20%, you're not gonna be satisfied with future trades. Slowly scale out. If you have like 3 contracts, sell one at every target you see. For me, I would just be targeting like areas of sweeps. Before this candle closed, I marked out, oh, I didn't mark out, but I mentioned these sweeps we have right here on the hourly. Q right now is grabbing this one, and we may grab this one pretty soon, which is like a 473 on the Qs. And then after that, we have this fair value gap. I just didn't mark it out because my chart is getting too messy. But that's where I would be exiting, just on top of wicks. As soon as we sweep some areas of wicks, just slowly scale out. But once again, like with options, you can easily make 20, 30, 40%. There's no need to hold the big runners. So there's a target now. Sure, man. Whatever pleases you. Like, I don't even know if that's a genuine question. Like, he just ignored everything else I said and just focused on the last number I mentioned. Yeah, what did I say about fair value gaps after a move like this? Don't focus on them. Biggest one was the first one that formed after a market structure shift. Focus on the other ones. Rest are just noise, especially right now like this. It's just a patience game now. I can't take this. Martian, I am still holding on to my Nvidia. However, I actually would have gone this out on break even or slight profit Friday, but I actually woke up late. I woke up like 3 hours after market open. But this is still looking good. I mean, obviously, horrible entry compared to where it's at right now. But just looking based on the model we have a liquidity sweep that we got yesterday. Then a market structure shift on the 4 hour that formed this imbalance. Today would actually be good entry. Not where we got in, but oh, since this is a higher time frame outlook, I would be targeting like at least the high that caused this. I don't know. With theta, this may still be even at a loss, but at least be closer to break even at this point. But once again, this was a bad trade. If I was awake Friday, I would have got out. But I think these still have a few days. So maybe by tomorrow, once we get around there, even at a 10, 20, whatever percent loss we're at, I'll just get out. Yeah, I'm not forcing any trades today. However, it's still feasible to hit your 8% goal. Um, I think for today, if I do take a trade, I may just like scale into position very slowly and just take whatever I can get. What about tariffs tomorrow? Man, I don't know, bro. Need Henry for that. I don't know. I don't have that fundamental like knowledge as much as those guys. I look at like an EPS and growth, kind of like the stuff majority of people focus on, but I think Piper, Henry, and Spungus have a better understanding than I do. So I honestly I have no clue, to be honest with you. But I guess we can check where it's at end of day. I think even if I take like let me check one sec. Maybe end of day we'll see where Nvidia's at. I don't mind cutting that one at a loss. But I mean, based on technicals, I still think we're fine on it. Will Henry be joining streams? No, so he's most likely gonna be streaming once a week on Friday. And I think he said around 12, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe around 4. Um, but I told him probably the best layout for you guys is you guys maybe give him a few stocks you're interested in, and he will give his evaluation on it. However, like he dives in very deep into the actual stock. Like if you watch any of his videos, he may spend like 1 to 10 hours on one stock, analyzing it from like the ground up. I doubt streams are obviously gonna be that long, maybe like 1 to 3 hours. Or I mean, it's up to him. I'm not gonna tell him how to do his thing. Search Henry Shin on YouTube. He's a great guy. He worked at a firm as an equity researcher for 10 years. Type his name out. I'll make an announcement probably today, but we're gonna have a webinar Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, I've been trying to onboard him for like the past 2 months. It's been crazy. I'm surprised he finally got in. When I first reached out to him, the server was only had like 700 members. I think he thought I was an idiot. I think after he saw the server grow and we kept having Zoom calls, he was down. Yeah, he is very handsome. Yeah, so if people just focus on 1 minute, like imagine anyone that started shorting this, they probably just keep adding and adding and adding. So hopefully the trend stays up. Is Hunger Says Spungus here? What does that even mean? Wait, Henry's been on YouTube since 2006. Is that true? I don't know. I saw his YouTube channel like 4 or 5 months ago. Oh, I'm not sure, man. Told Henry like we can just play by the flow. After the webinar, you guys. Yeah, it's probably when his channel's created. Doesn't mean he started it then, or it could just be linked to his Google account. I don't know. But after the webinar, you guys like and just ask him questions and see maybe the direction we could have him take. But if you look at his YouTube content, like I think ideally if it just stays similar, but just with a Q&A with the members, might be probably the best approach. But once again, we'll see over time. It's kind of the same way I started. Like I had no clue the direction I was gonna take. It was just slowly over time based on members' feedback. Like when I started a server, I wasn't even streaming, and then people just recommended it. And slowly over time, we got to where we're at right now. We about to know everything about Henry by the end of the stream. Go ahead, man. Do your research. Yeah, no, don't ask him that question, bro. Don't make this guy leave. It took me like 2.5 months to get him on here. Puts now? Why? Why, man? What about the screams puts? Tell me one thing. Like, generally give me your analysis. Why puts? Based on the time frames I have here for you, what's one reason for you to take puts here? If anything, this 5 minute just did a quick sweep here. We could see another one here. This 5 minute candle we could retest open. Any puts you buy here is very, very short term. Like I would get out like very, very quickly in like a matter of minutes if you do take puts here. But and the reward is not good. And this 50-minute candle we got, I mean, just a very small retracement. Still holding it. Actually, you know what, man? Just because you said that, I'll take longs my short term. Let's do 472 calls. This is not the 1K account, so don't follow this blindly. Let's do 147. I'll do 25 contracts. It's not revenge calls. There's just no reason to buy puts here. It's bad, bad. Look at the 5 minute. We got a quick sweep. I expect this candle or the next candle to retrace this 5 minute. That's literally it. Not the best trade, but it's a scalp. I got in 1.47. I'll get out 1.78. Sharing my knowledge. He did that to show because there's no techno analysis that shows market structure shift. No, this is just a scalp. This is not based on the model at all. So when I scalp trade, it's literally just about retracements. So let me look at Thinkorswim or sorry, TradingView a bit better. We just got a sweep on the 5 minute, and every candlestick that forms, at some point we will retrace the opening or the close. So for this 5 minute, expect us to retrace the opening of this, which would be 472.49 on the Qs. So I'm not saying it'll hit this 5 minute, but at some point we'll hit over here. That's why I said don't follow me. It's just for a scalp. It's not for the 1K account because the trade is not the best. But it's also not good for puts either. Full ported? Good job, man. Proud of you. You're probably down 10% with me right now. Even on the 15 minute, you can retrace back to this high, this open, 72.13. Like that's for scalps. That's how I target it. Quick sweep and then a retest of the previous open on shorter time frame. And then depending on your size, I mean, you can add if you want. Oh, that stands for sarcasm. Okay. Yeah. Do you see if I? People are always asking like, can you color your scalps? I'm like, dude, I can't imagine what the chat would be doing. After swing trades, people go crazy after like 15 minutes. Imagine calling out like 10 scalps a day. I can't handle that. Can you guys handle 10% drawdown? Should I have a private scalp stream? Nah, I'm good. I tried scalping futures when I first started, but it's just people like they always entered with me, they just never got out. They always kept telling me like, what if it goes higher? I'm like, I don't care if it goes higher. Especially with futures, like it's so easy to make $1,500 in like a matter of minutes. Like if you want to hold for 1,000, sure, go ahead. But why are you following my trades and then you're not gonna follow through? Like, what's the point? I just hate getting those questions because they only want to follow basically like what pleases their mind. Like I don't know. Scalps are too fast. You need someone that types fast. No, even then, like by the time the alert goes through, um, by the time the alert goes through, people open whatever broker they have, type it in. I mean, for this trade, for example, if I did call it out, people would have gotten a much better fill than me, right? But what if this reversed instantly? If I got 1.47, what if they got out? What if they got 1.68 or something like that? Then they're gonna close at 1.8. Like I don't know. You can't call out scalps. Day trades, sure, but not scalps. And I don't want people to make strategies. The way I scalp is a lot different than my day trades. Do you think market will go up today? No, man. It's going down from entry. Like, I'm just gonna assume questions like that are just jokes, right? Oh, you mean more? Oh yeah. I don't like, for example, the reason I told that guy earlier not to buy puts here, even I think he mentioned around here, it just you don't. There's no confirmation to buy puts yet. And the 15-minute we're holding well, 30-minute we're holding well, 5-minute sure we got bearish engulfing candle, but that's it. That's literally the only bearish thing you got so far. So if you took that, okay, you took that trade here, we're now 20 cents, 30 cents lower. Is that the whole trade? I mean, that is the whole trade, sure. But if you're holding this long, which I'm assuming majority of people would, they're end up gonna get stuck if we reverse. So scalping, sure. I mean, you can buy puts, whatever. It's just not a good habit to short on a trend up. You're deep in calls. If you're deep in calls, what do you mean you had profit? Why did you use the word had? You're no longer in profit? Where did he buy? Okay, that's when you can scale out then. You always scale out profits. I mean, if you're following the challenge account, the goal is only 8% a day. People even after telling people like you'll need to make 8%, starting with 1K balance, they're still fixated on like high returns. And for me, in my short term, I'm comfortable with a 3 to 4K max loss for the day. So I could add up a position until I hit that 3 4K loss, and that's where I would get out. Right now, I'm down 1,000 on a day. But I'm kind of glad to actually show these losses because yesterday everyone wanted me to stream scalps, right? Well, today I took 2 scalps and I'm down on both of them. We would have just waited for a good setup and just take one trade. It's much better than scalps. But usually it's not the case. But today seems like it is. Damn, bro, it's almost 12 already. Like we're getting some good wicks. Yeah, I mean, the only issue is getting around 12 too. For 0 DTE, data kicks in really high. So if I call out a day trade on 1K account today, it'll probably turn into like 1 DT. Even though they're more expensive, we're getting too close to end of day. Wait 1 second. I think I'm gonna take this my 1K account too. Yeah. I'll take this on 1K account as well. Let me just call it out in chat. 472 calls QQQ. Get in right. I'm gonna try to get in like 1.5 here. Um, 25. I can do 23 contracts, 1.5. That gets filled. Yeah, these are 0 DT, but I was kind of hesitant, but it's before 12s. Maybe this will be still be okay. I have an order 1.5, but let's see if we get filled. Probably not. If I don't get filled, no, I don't want to chase this. Man, I suck. Uh, I mean, if you got into these, the trend, 15-minute, yeah. It's like I got filled my personal. I mean, the trend is still up. I don't know. We're gonna keep trending up. I would aim like 20 cents higher than the day high. Like I said in the hourly, we still have this sweep here. And that'll be the fair value up in the hourly. I just didn't. I don't know. I'll still enter these though if it comes back down. No, don't enter here. So my personal, I actually got filled 1.78. But let's try to get a better fill. Still have 1.5 resting, which may get filled right here. I already alerted the channel. Did you guys not get the alert? The admin said I can use everyone. Hopefully whoever has access to that channel can see it now. Okay. How did you get 1.14 fill? Are you using different strike? Oh, you bought it for the call? Good job. Oh, you bought. Oh, damn. You got a really good fill, man. Good job. Yeah, I mean, if you got that fill and we hit 1.7, you're up like already at 50%. So that's a good goal. That's a good trade, man. I mean, if these get filled, I think I'll just target this right here. 7.3. We get filled. Should be above $2. We're not getting filled. I'll be targeting 473. So I'm just estimating the option price. This is definitely going to be above $2. Be could be 2.25. So if you want, like, put an order at 2.25. But then once we hit 473, I would adjust it if it doesn't get filled. Because I can't. I'm just estimating this. I don't know exactly what's the price going to be. But if we break the high, it should be above 2.04 at least. Yeah, man, I missed it too. I mean, it's still possible to get filled. I'm gonna be a little bit more patient. If not, I may adjust it to like 1.6. We'll see. Nah, this is probably gonna push right now. Yeah, cancel my order, but whoever got into this, definitely sell above 2.04. Point zero four. Wait a minute, I can get lucky. My order back. Yay! No, Cosmo, this is not chasing. But let's take a look. 1.4 average? Oh, you guys on 1.4? Damn. I did put my exit at 2.04, I believe. Um, actually do have to leave in like 12:15, so I just wanted to get filled, and I'll call it a day. And that'll be 33% in like whatever amount of time this takes. But if you want to wait for 473, you may get 10-20% more. So you do, yeah, 2.04 limit sell. You guys do whatever you want. But I'm very, very happy with 33%. I'm even happy right here because I think like 10% right now. Up $400. See, I like that you guys get better fills because you guys don't copy me blindly. I appreciate that. Majority of people are always asking me for my exact entries and exits, and I don't get sometimes always the best entries. Take care, unknown. Once again, whoever got out, good job. I'm not gonna let these run more than 10 minutes. By 12:15, I do have to leave. So we'll see if we can get this push the next 5-10 minutes. But if you notice, obviously theta is already kicking in. Made a slight higher high, but the option price itself has already decayed. Seems like, I don't know, like 7 cents. Whatever percentage that is, maybe 4%. I don't know. But we're definitely already decaying. But so around 473, I mean, we should still hit 2.04 and above. waste your breath, man. I tried. This hourly does close in a minute and a half. Um, if we break the high, like in the next 5 minutes, may adjust my order a little bit higher actually, because I don't know if we go 25 cents higher, they should be a little bit higher too. I think I'm gonna put it at 2.2. I'm gonna adjust it as soon as we hit 473.07 because I'm now targeting this wick we have that I got from the hourly, and the high of that was 473.07. So once we hit that, looks like my option price is a little bit overpriced actually, based on Thinkorswim. Once we touch 473.07, I'll just mark it out. I think we should get a better fill than that 2.04. So we'll see. We'll see if I can get this, if I can get lucky. I marketed 473.07 based on this hourly wick. You mentioned in the beginning of the stream, I don't know exactly how high this can go, but I said these are areas of sweeps. These wicks we have in the hourly. And after that, we have this fair value gap. That's just the next area I'll be targeting. Like, if you would have gone in the morning and you don't know where to get out, you can just mark out areas of sweeps on a higher time frame. So this last wick we had before this fair value gap is at 473.07. That's the high. Okay, hopefully this gets filled in the next 10 minutes because I do have to leave soon. Like I said, as soon as 473.07 hits, I will mark it out. But if I get lucky, I might get filled 2.2. We'll see. Yeah, no, that's the way to go. Don't be greedy. Take whatever you can. I do like to trade based on levels and targets though. So if we hit 2, I mean, like I said, it's 33%. Do not be upset about 33%. That's amazing. So we just hit 2 right now. You can see how the option's definitely decaying here. We made a 25% higher move, but we didn't even break the high on the option. Did we hit 2.04? Oh, we did. Huh. Never mind. All right, I'm gonna give this 5 more minutes, and then we'll see if I can get out. What did we hit? Did I hit 473 yet? Maybe we can give it one more push. No, don't buy right now, man. This do not chase here. If you already made your gains, just call it a day. It's too late in the day, anyways. Like I said, after 12, theta really kicks in. If you're gonna play more trades, make them at least 2 days out. In and out 3 times. Good job, man. All right, five more minutes, and I'm gonna leave. Just give me that push. I want to see that print. Is this playing with your guys' emotions? It's not that bad, man. It's only been like 10 minutes. Focus on the 5 minute. Who cares? If okay, if this is actually playing with their emotions, we're gonna have a webinar on psychology. Maybe Saturday, Sunday. I'm not sure if she's in chat, but so one of the members will be hosting it. Yeah, maybe we can meditate with her. You guys need it. Cause dude, this is normal. I don't know why you guys are panicking. Oh man. Yeah, that's her username. Thank you. Yeah, like the guy there, I don't know. So some guy took my swing trade, and I think I grabbed like What, it was like $2,200 worth, and he grabbed like 40 grand worth. It's like, I don't know what to say about that, man. It's crazy. They're challenger accounts, man. They're not everyone's gonna succeed in them. It's fine. All right, 2 more minutes, man. I have to get dressed. Come on, give me that push. What's your dream car, man? A bicycle? I'm joking. Congrats. Uh, 473 just hit. I doubt 2.2 is gonna hit, but I still want to see that 473.07. But I have to leave in like 2 minutes. Let's see what we can get. Come on, 1 or 2 more minutes. 2.2 is 100% hitting? You think so? All right. I don't doubt it. I just gotta go. This happened the other day too, by the way. I don't know if it was Wednesday or Thursday, but I mentioned how this is a manipulation candle before the consolidation up. I believe that video was recorded and uploaded, but it happened earlier in the morning too. This bearish candle is definitely a manipulation candle. Trap a little bit more shorts before I push up. All right, 1 more minute. Come on, man. But $2 is still good. That's still 33%. All right, last minute. I'm gonna get out of this 1 minute. All right, we hit 473.06. So I'm just gonna get out here at 2. Whatever. Let 2. All right, I got Phil there. You guys take care. I may stream after hours. We'll see. Good day.